And hello to all my Libra friends. I'd like to welcome you in. My name is Scott Sagent, and today I'll be doing your free psychic tarot reading for January 2023. Now today they've dialed up for my great Libras a Celtic cross spread. It's a great spread for general readings because it looks a little bit in the past, a little bit in the future, but it focuses the most on what is going on right here, right now in the month of January. So we're going to take a peek at that. The Celtic cross is also one of the only spreads that I do that devotes an entire position, an entire card here to the environment. So there's something around you in the month of January going on that Spirit wants you to at least be aware of. We're going to conclude your reading at the end with a couple extra angel protection cards. That's what Spirit has advised, as well as tied the whole thing together with the rune stone. And we got some exciting moon cycles, some of the greatest, biggest moon cycles in the entire year happening right now in January. So we got a lot to go over, guys, and cover. We're going to get started right now. The cards are already shuffled. I do that ahead of time to save us all a bunch of time. I'm going to bring you in right now so you guys can watch. I like to share my table with you, show you the overhead of what's going on. So let me hit record there. And we are on and recording. What I'm doing now, Libra, these are my ritual cuts, cutting each deck into thirds, put them back together in a separate order, and then they're ready to go. So here we go. This is the Celtic cross. It may get a little tall because this is a widescreen here on my camera, on my phone. So I will move the camera around to let you guys see everything. But here we go. This is you and all that you are. This is what crosses you. This is what's before you, the recent past, and this is what's after you, the near future. This is what's above you, something you're aware of, and this is what is below you, something that you're not. Then we got running up the sides here with 7, 8, 9, and I'm going to bend in 10 just for the camera right there. Now it's a matter of checking inverts. I believe we have a good distribution. Nope, yeah, we're good to go there. Just my people cards are next. Got to verify if we're talking about people or the energy of a couple of these cards. It looks like we just got one person card in here, and it's the main one. So I'm going to do a discard right there. It is not a person, so they want me to use the energy of that card, which will be just fine. And then we just need a couple oracle cards. I don't do a whole lot to the Celtic cross except for my major arcana. So here we go with Strength is going to get one here, as well as the Empress over here gets an angel card. And that's it. We're ready to go. Let me just make sure it's all in view for you, because that's always the challenging. I'm actually going to take this off here to show you. A little easier, make sure everything gets covered. So this is the main cross right here. You can see it goes across like this. There's our cross, the above position. I'm not sure if you saw that earlier or not. And then the below position, because those two like to get off screen. So there is your main cross, and then we have running up the sides with number 7, 8, 9, and 10. Final outcome for January. So let's get to work, Libra. Okay. Gonna fan it out a little bit, make myself some room. As much as I can. Okay, we're ready to go, guys. No time like the moment. So we start with the energy of a King of Swords. That could be a boss. It could be a corporate boss for some people. But they did say use the energy of the card, not the person. So probably not so much. We're more so talking about here the fact that really being authoritative with your mindset. Huge way to start the year. Huge way to start for my Libras for everything. Okay, what does that mean? That means making up your own decisions for yourself, not letting other people decide for you. You're going to have to be very, very mentally sharp. You're going to have to be in a good mental health space as well. Okay, so your mental capacity, your logical center, your cerebral, that's what swords are. It's the cerebral suit. So that's got to be on point in January, guys, okay? They show it's upright, so I'm not worried about it. You guys are doing a great job here. But when we have a great job in tarot, we want to continue that great job. So keep doing the good job there, being authoritative in your mind, being headstrong. My Libras being very firm and authoritative here to start the month. Now what crosses you here in January, and keep in mind that this, first of all, is a general reading, so it's not going to hit everybody the same way, but also this is for the entire month. If this doesn't make sense to you right now, a situation I'm describing, perhaps you might have to come back later because this might resonate at that time. And when that happens, it's okay. Just come back and check it out again. So what they talk about here is you're getting over some kind of weird level of heartbreak here. And again, this is the Suit of Swords. It's my Three of Swords, and it's on an invert. So they show that you're getting over this. I'm not sure what it is. It's probably different for everybody, right? So what they're showing here is that this is like not your regular heartbreak. This is kind of like a weird thing that just like really bothers you. And a lot of you are getting over this and surmounting this. This is good to see. But it's like, well, when are you actually surmounting this? Or what is this about? That's really where you have to really put the context of the general reading to use for yourself. But here, the fact that you're getting over it is huge, and that this is like not a big deal anymore. This is something that probably used to worry you quite a bit, and now it's kind of getting resolved in the month of January. So that at least is very good news. Let's move backwards in time here to the past position card. Here they show the Strength card. This is a wonderful card of you having all the tools, you not missing anything, you have everything that you need. Now, why is it coming up for the past about that? Because it's carrying into your January. That's why. So it's relevant right now. So they're saying like you have everything from before to deal with what you're dealing with right now and in the month of January. They do show angel therapy, so they're basically saying give your cares and worries to the angels, allow us to take the burdens off of you. So anything that gets too overwhelming, keep in mind you have the tools first, and if not, God does. Okay, so very important to levy off the heavy burdens that arrive in the month of January. Anything that's too heavy for you, hey, just ask for help. Just give it back to God, and they will help you with that. But they are saying that you have the tools, and most of you Libras are in great shape here because of what you've done to get here. In the past position card, it's very relevant for the present and the future. It's setting a foundation. So there we go. Very good past position. Let's move into the future, guys. The future is a major arcana card in the Empress. So that first of all, they're letting you know that a lot of Libras are going to be very fertile past January. Okay, so this is the future position, near future. So does that mean in January? Maybe the end of January, but more February. Okay, the ground is going to get very fertile. So does that mean that you're fertile yourself? For some people, yes. For other people, they're talking about employment opportunities. Just the soil is very fertile for a lot of growth here for my Libras moving forward, especially into late January, early February. It's a highly feminine card too. It's the card of the divine feminine, the mother, the motherly energy. So that's all coming in very good. And in the future, they also bring in my prosperity card, which just kind of overlays the entire thing by saying your material needs are provided as you follow your intuition and manifest your dreams into reality. Long story short, it's talking about finances. Finances as well as manifestation, and this is a good future position to see that a lot of things become very real very soon for a lot of my Libras. Let's move into the above position, guys. And then we're going to hit some moon cycles because I told you those are huge, and that's going to be relevant too. Let me just kind of look ahead down the line here. We have some new beginning going on there. So yeah, there's some big new moon activity going on there. But first, your above position. This talks about something you're aware of. So I'm not telling you guys anything new, but it's still relevant. Spirit wants to kind of like remind you, like, okay, here, this is what's going on here. So a lot of you have been... This is the Four of Pentacles. This is my Hoarders card. In this deck, it's a little bit different. It's not your traditional hoarding, but here there's something that needs to be let go of that you guys have just been hanging on to a little bit too long. So this could be something with health, this could be something with finances, or this could be wide open to other areas. So hanging on to something for too long, really need to let it go. That is also a moon cycle thing. That is full moon energy there. So they're saying that you're aware of this, so it shouldn't be very confusing to you. It's probably the first thing that occurs to you. Spirit does not try to confuse us. They try to make it very clear here. And in a general reading, of course, it's complicated to do that because we have so much Libra bubble energy joining us and tuning in and sharing this reading with us. If you're looking for personal private messages specific only to you, I offer a wide variety of different services from small all the way up to full service on my website, scottsagent.com. So, just needing to let go of something that's been burdening you for too long, you've been worrying about for too long, or maybe just it's stuff. For some people it could be physical stuff. For some of you it could be people, a bunch of different things. Hey, it's time to let it go. And you know what? Let's let it go in January. That's what Spirit's saying. So before we get into this bottom position, since we just teased that moon, the moon cycles and the full moon, we have some of the greatest moon cycles in the entire year. It's actually going to be January and February that are huge moon cycles, the biggest until August. So let's talk about that real quick. A couple new products and new promotions to tell you about too. And we're going to get this bottom position, which is something you're not aware of. So this one is new. Okay, guys, it is moon cycle forecast time. Let's talk about those moon cycles because we have the most lunar activity now, January and February until August, guys. So these 2 months are going to be huge. Let's talk about January. The first thing that comes in January is on January 6th. This is going to be a micro full moon. It's called the wolf moon because it's the first full moon of the year of 2023. And the full moon is the best time to get anything out of your life that doesn't fit there, that you don't want there in general. Hey, you just got to get it out. It doesn't matter what it is. The universe doesn't care. You know, we've done very specific spreads this month, and it doesn't matter if it's something we've talked about or not. Let's say it's something, for some of you it's people. You got to get people out of your life. For some of you, you got to sell something. You got to repurpose something to get it out of your life. Emotional baggage, stress, anxiety, doesn't matter what it is. If it's something that's got to go and be removed from your life, let's say certain eating habits, you know, the whole bit. It's full moon energy, guys, and the best time to do that is the first week of January. This is very much, New Year's resolution stuff is when you do new things. Well, actually, the way that the moon cycles line up, that's not the case. It's actually the best at the beginning of the new year to get rid of something out of your life with that full moon energy. Now, adversely, and what does micro mean? Micro just means that it's small in the sky. So it's smaller visibly than normal. And, does that mean that it doesn't work as well? No, not really. I mean, you can still get it done. It's, the energy is lightened a little bit. But let's talk about that new moon because that's the opposite. That we have another super new moon coming in January. We just had one in December. We're going to have another one in February. And right now in January, the sky is going to be huge. It is the super new moon. It happens on January 21st. So, don't focus on the end of the month because that gets back into the full moon eking in from February. But let's call it the third week. The third week of January is the best time to bring actually anything brand new into your life. That New Year's resolution stuff, save it for week 3. I'm telling you, much better chance of getting it to stick and making it apply. And you can just use this new year between now and then as preparation time to get ready for these changes that you're trying to make. And what are you trying to bring new into your life? Well, like I said, the universe doesn't care. It doesn't matter what you use it for. You can use it to attract new love. You can use it to attract new finances. Do something new with work, something new with health. It doesn't matter. So if it's something new, the third week of January is going to be your target time for that, so please stick to that. It's going to help it just move a little smoother. And if any of this has confused you, I've put together a moon cycle cheat sheet. It is for free, and it is on my website. You can check that out anytime. It's on my videos tab. Go to the bottom there. You can see the moon cycle cheat sheet, and it shows you how these energies flow in and out and how best to align important decisions in your own life to them to make things go a little smoother. That's what it's all about, guys, while you're at the website. Make sure you're signed up for the newsletter program. That's at the sign up for that is at the very bottom of every single page, as well as follow the Facebook page because I do giveaways on there, as well as my newsletter people get giveaways as well. And I only send one newsletter email every single month. It's just for promo codes and updates, see what's going on. We're always doing new and fun things on the channel, on the site. And also, guys, now I need to tell you about the new product. Speaking of new fun things, I have my quadrants video. I only do these in January, guys, and this is releasing on January 3rd. If you're checking out this video after January 3rd, it's going to autoplay after your reading. But if not, you guys are going to have to check it out. But it's going to be available and posted everywhere, YouTube, Facebook, on my website, the whole bit. Check out your quadrants video. It forecasts the entire year for your sign, and we're looking at what is the best quadrant, what is the best quadrant is basically a circle that's broken into 4 parts. So this is your year. What quadrant, what quarter is the best for you, for work, for health, for love? What is the best quadrant to take a vacation in? What is the best quadrant for you to be a little conservative? What's the best quadrant for you to get busy and take risks? All these things are going to be looked at in the quadrants video. You can get a sampling of that for yourself for the sign, and that's going to be available to everybody. But let's say you want quadrants done just for you. This is the first time I'm releasing this, guys, as a personal audio product. It is part of the mini product line, and this allows you great planning and preparation tools for the entire year. It's the only time I offer this, and it forecasts the entire year. So this is all about you, so it's extremely accurate. And looking at all these things, it's a huge drop of information, guys. It's the best, probably the best bang for your buck. Anytime I've done this for friends, for colleagues, for clients, they always say, if you only get one thing a year, this is like the best thing to do because it outlines everything that is important and relevant. So, and you guys get to check that out for free, a little sampling in the general reading. But if that's not good enough for you, you want something that's all about you, the quadrants video is now available as a personal audio product on the website. And it's extremely affordable, best bang for your buck you can get. Speaking of new things on the website, guys, I got to tell you about the shop. We got Tiger's Eye gemstones going in on the shop, and I'm going to be flashing pictures up as I talk about it here. We got the standard golden Tiger's Eye. We got the red red flare tiger's eye. It's just red tiger's eye. I call it flare because it's so shiny. And then we got the blue tiger's eye, also very, very shiny, very deep, dark blue. And they all kind of vibrate a little bit differently, but they're all kind of the same major themes. Tiger's eye is really good for negating any kind of negative energy, transmuting it basically, and it's also good for insight and seeing things very clearly, and a whole host of other things as far as medical reasons too, medical things that it really does to boost your body. So a whole host of different things. I'm not going to spend, we got to get back to your reading. I don't want to spend too much time talking about it, but the whole write-up is on the website, scottsagent.com. You can check out all three of them and the differences between each of them. And also available, I got a few keychains to go with them. There's a few individual products for keychains. And the best part about the whole thing is what it comes with. Any kind of gemstone purchase is going to come with a free little nylon drawstring bag, a little way to carry your gemstone. And also a little pendant, which is going to be a separate gemstone. Both of those are going to come for free. Okay, well, what if I just buy one gemstone? Do I still get that stuff for free? Yes, you do. You absolutely do. You get all of it with every purchase. Now, it's only one per month, guys, but you know what? Most people are only going to make one purchase a month anyway. So you're getting all this free stuff with any gemstone purchase, and you can read that right up online. It's a no-brainer, guys. Make sure you check out all three of those beautiful tiger's eyes. Now let's get back to your reading. Okay, Libra, back with that bottom position, and this is something that you are not aware of here. And here, they're talking about the need for new ideas, okay? Really getting deep in thought, thinking of new ways to do things, either with work, new ways to do things with your health, your finances, or even in your love corner. We haven't really talked about love at all yet. It hasn't really permeated or popped up yet, but all that stuff is relevant here. So they're saying you need to start thinking of new ways to do things. And in the bottom position, they're letting me know a lot of you just kind of like brush this off and be like, you know what? No, I'm good. My life is going pretty smooth right now. I'm in a good trajectory. Things are going pretty well. Why do I need to change the way I'm thinking about things and start thinking of new ideas? And I don't need to do that. Spirit is saying, hey, actually, you should. Okay, because there are some things that you could improve on and you could get better on just by thinking of new ways to do things, getting rid of the ways that don't work for you, doing more of the ways that do work for you, and just new ideas in general. You never know if an idea works for you or not until you try it. Take the example of a diet, for example. Let's say the keto diet. It works great for some people. Other people, it just flops and it just doesn't work very well, and they're just, slaves to the diet and not really getting the results. So everybody's different. That's the whole point here. So some things work for you, some things don't work for you. And until you try the new ideas, you never really know if it works for you or not. So new ideas are good. Do a little experimentation there with some new ideas in the month of January, guys. Here we go, moving into number 7. This is your advice card, and they do show that working with other people. The advice here is tandem. It is also kind of a love type of card, so there is going to be some good love promising things in the air in January, if that's something that you're looking for. If you're like a single Libra and you're looking for love, something like that, the advice is to, maybe begin. Maybe start. It's not going to happen all at once and so forth. Or this is, for most people, just like I said, my first definition is working together with somebody else. It's a couple working together on something. So what does that mean for you? It kind of depends on where you're at. For some people, this could be a business message. Hey, you got to work with this client on this job. That's the advice for January, is you and somebody else. It could be you and a group, but usually it's more a small group. And that's why I say you and somebody else. Okay, so very important to not do things alone in the month of January. As we move up, this is your environmental card. This is what the whole Celtic cross, I think, was pulled for. And it's to talk about here that we have love on a block. Okay, so the environment is a little murky for my love people. Now, they did show good working together with another person, but I feel like that's if you already have them. So I'm going to go back to what I just said about my single Libras. The field, if you're looking for love, is a little bit murky, okay? They showed me the card after I talked about the previous card. But if you already have somebody, let's say you've been dating somebody for a while, that is looking good, okay? That part is fine. That's kind of the two people working together, energy. And now here, they're saying it's just blocked. It's just not the best time for it. Maybe, better suitors for you will come later, and if that's the case, of course you want to wait for that. You don't want to settle with a mediocre, or, so you don't want to pass and, get with somebody else when you have something much greater that would be there if you just waited a little bit longer. So for everybody else, this love environment is just on a little bit of a delay. and it's going to get more loving later. This also applies to my married and my coupled up people as well, my Libras, because this is the whole family. This is not just the environment around you, but the love corner is the family. Anybody close to your heart can come in on this. So it's just saying, hey, you know what? It's going to get better later. January is not the best time here for the warm and fuzzy energy for the family, okay? It doesn't mean it's bad. It just means that it's going to get greater later. So that's good news. As we move up, hopes and fears. Well, this is obviously a fear. We have a fear of stagnation, of learning from your lessons, but not moving forward with the lessons that you've learned. And, Spirit's a little confused because they're looking at this like, well, if you've done the work, you've learned the lessons. We talked about you having all the tools earlier in the past position. You've done the work. Well, why aren't you utilizing it? Why aren't you doing more things with this? And that is where you come in with the fear of, maybe failure, which is a man-made illusion. Failure is not a real thing. We have to try things many times before we learn to do it. Even learning how to walk. Everybody knows how to walk, but nobody did it the first time successfully. Okay, and maybe Jesus did. I don't know, but most people don't. It's a challenge. So you got to try new things, and we talked about new things there too in the bottom position, and new ideas in the whole lot. So here, what they're saying is, these lessons are learned. You have the knowledge. Hey, you know what? You don't got to be afraid. You need to get out of your own way here a little bit and let yourself soar. Let this fly. You've learned the lessons, especially in regards to work, because it is a wands. It could be, a wide variety of things that they're discussing here, but I need to kind of go back to work corner a little bit here. Work corner is a big place too. It's your work, business, enterprise, your area of study, collegiate courses, retirement, if you're of that age, learning anything new, hobbies, interests, that whole bit. So anything like that applies to what I just said. Like, you've done the work, you got it, you're good to go. Now, as we conclude your Celtic cross, the final position is number 10 here, and this is the final outcome. They don't want you to let something go to hell here. Okay, so make sure you're not neglecting something. Now, I feel like this is much more tangible, so it's not like an emotion, it's not like a feeling or a thought. This is something that's actually real to the touch. So something like, don't let it go. So like the maintenance of a car, for example, cleaning your house, keeping your house up to date and tidy and clean. Something like that. Something that you've been neglecting. More than likely, this is not a surprise either. You probably have a pretty good bearing of what they mean by this. So there's something real world here that they don't want you to neglect. So what does that mean? That means by January, they're giving you a deadline here. January, you got to get this figured out. You got to get this wrapped up. You got to get it solved and moving on so that it doesn't move into your February with you. February is for different things for my Libras. Obviously, they want you worried about different things at that time. And this thing resolved, whatever it is. So don't let something get neglected there, even if it's a family member, spending enough time with them, like we talked about the car. Could be a bunch of different things. Let's get into your angel protection, guys. I promised you 2 of those. First one that's coming up is all is well. So they're basically saying everything is happening the way that it's supposed to be happening right now. Even if it doesn't feel that way to you, it may feel like, hey, you know what? This is just a mess. There's no way that I'm on the right path. Spiritual GPS is saying, yeah, actually you are. This is just the way it's supposed to be. You got to go through this so that you can learn this, or you have to go through this so that you really appreciate the next thing. Whatever it is, so everything's actually okay for my Libras. That's good news. Next thing we have here is spiritual understanding, basically saying that they're bringing you information symbols and helping you understand spiritual truths. This is, I call it kind of my Doctor Strange, if you're familiar with the Marvel movies, of how he kind of moves things around with his hands and metaphysics and stuff like that, quantum. And that's kind of what is going on in the card, and pictured in the card is that there's a lot of stuff going on in the background, behind the scenes. So there are moving things. And that kind of goes with all as well, too, letting you know that everything is happening for a reason, and also letting you know that they are giving you signs from the other side. The angels, the spirit guides, the whole bit, they're giving you the signs. So you got to have your eyes open to see them. You're going to miss 100% of the signage if your eyes are closed or you're not looking for it. So that's all very important stuff there. And that's a great way to end January. The only thing better we can do is add a runestone on top of it, right? So they're already mixed up too. Just give them one extra swirl, and then we're good. And this is the runestone here for Libra for the month of January. It's going to be this guy right here. Make sure I hold it the right way, just like that. This is the runestone of constraint. So really being patient with certain things. knowing when to pull the trigger, when to not pull the trigger, when to go for something, when to not. So really kind of picking your opportunities, being opportunistic in the month of January, showing constraint with maybe patience with people, patience with situations, circumstances, anything that you have going on in your life, really. Just remember constraint. It's going to be okay. You don't have to act all of a sudden. This is let it play out in front of you. Start thinking about things, new ideas, very cerebral type of month, really, for a lot of my Libras. So that is going to conclude what has been a very good reading, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in. Please remember to like and subscribe so you see the future videos. Have a happy new year. Have a great January, and I'll see you soon.